Guys, here we go. Now, I've been waiting for this drama. I've been waiting to react to it because I haven't had the time yet, right? This is about Tomoe. And it's gonna be really interesting. Twitter Freak tried to cancel an apolitical VTuber. It backfired spectacularly. Yeah, this ref. So, we love our American horsewoman, military horsewoman. Just saying, Hans. It's interesting. It's interesting. We have been discovering in recent times VTubers actively trying to push apolitical VTubers to make a statement. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. However, it is funny that at least a few VTubers are not caving in. They're basically just like us saying, if you are not making a statement for us, you are against us. Basically, like, even if you don't say anything right, you are just like quietly complying, right? That's basically what's been going on recently. Good thing is, I'm not apolitical. I'm not trying to be, because the truth is, like, I've seen a lot of like VTubers be like, oh, VTubers shouldn't talk about politics. That would be the optimal case. That would be a utopia. That's not gonna happen. Here's the thing. If you're not open about it, they're gonna say you're a Nazi. If you are open about it and you are basically of the part that commits quote-unquote wrong thing, you're also a Nazi. So it doesn't matter. I can be open with my beliefs. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. I'll be put in a category regardless. It doesn't matter if you're apolitical. If you try to avoid politics, you're just silently complying. That's it. That's that. That is unfortunately how it is, because, well, VTubing is ran by a lot of liberal women. Funny how it is.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we'll be going over a situation where a VTuber is being canceled and attacked for not wanting to be political. In fact, we're gonna look at some other VTubers attacking this individual, calling them a coward. This person being, this VTuber in question, an active US military member. Now, before we get into this whole situation, it feels like it's 2020 all over again with these ridiculous cancellation campaigns. You guys know I've been dealing with it myself the past week or so. I talked about it yesterday.
Yep, Advanced GG dropped him because he criticized a VTuber, and then Advanced GG was brigaded and dropped him and his wife. Go bankrupt. Thank you.
And I just want to say, thanks for the crazy amount of support, whether it's the super thanks or the crazy amount of new patrons. I'm going to put a link to this in the pinned comment. I'm working on my page. I'm reworking some things, and I cannot believe the amount of support I've gotten. I appreciate it so much. But let's get back into the content for today. So the VTuber in question here is Tomoe Umari. They're a military tomboy horse girl VTuber. Wow. Sign me up. That sounds pretty interesting. And of course, they are a patriotic.
Have I been mispronouncing your name the entire time? Because I thought it was Tomoe. Maybe it's Tomoe. I have no idea. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, forever a goofy patriotic tomboy horse girl. Interesting. And that makes people seethe, obviously, right? Because, like, how could you be in the American military?
One. Again, as I said, they are...
Or patriotic. Interesting.
Active military, so it kind of fits with their life as well. Now, she made some tweets recently, earlier this month, saying, I feel like I must reiterate this. I'm not interested in associating with politics as a VTuber. Yes, I love my country. No, I don't care to discuss politics. Saying this probably won't stop the nut jobs who keep trying to spark political debates under my whimsical posts, but alas. Okay, this used to be a very normal thing. A VTuber saying, I don't want to be political. That was like the norm for so long, but now the narrative has shifted on Twitter where people are demanding VTubers like this speak out about...
To be honest, the only reason I'm political is because to retaliate. Because if you only one side's political and the other side isn't, you're just going to be driven out of the space. And I feel like you have to actively call them out, then you have no other choice. Regardless, again, I'm of the firm belief that while you can avoid it, talking about it, like Tomoe does, and others do, they're still gonna put you in some way, shape, or form of camp, right? If you don't say anything, you're silently complying. That's the current state we're in right now.
Every political issue out there, otherwise they're problematic, they're a coward, what have you. Now here is the antagonist of today's video.
The rat VTuber, that is definitely also a rat IRL, I think. Yeah, this guy is interesting. He's basically just made a video that's completely bad faith and like absolutely horrible, and like yeah, I quoted that and just told people, you know what, if I just quote it so you can see it and maybe you can dislike and leave a comment, you know. Yeah, it's a horrible video. This is a horrible video, absolutely horrible what this guy did. Diabolical.
This Moemi individual who was very upset seeing these posts. They had a complete meltdown making this post saying, another day as a morally neutral and innocent nationalist. And then they say, turn this industry plant horse.
Industry plant. So is he saying basically that Tomoe doesn't deserve the support and she's an industry plant? How does this work exactly? Could you elaborate?
Into glue, I'm so for real. So what they're trying to imply here, and I think it's clear as day, is that she should be offed because she doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's basically saying she's not political. She's not saying anything. She's silently complying. Kill her. That's basically what he's saying. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? That's how mentally ill these people are. They're essentially just saying, you know what? You know what? Kill them. They don't agree with me. They don't agree with the other side. They're just being quiet. Kill them. We're at the point where if you don't say anything, these mentally ill people want to take your life. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And no, you're not supposed to let it sink into your house. Let that sit for a second. We are cooked beyond belief. Because that basically means if you're not saying, right, what this creates, right, it creates a standard of, if you're not talking about the particular topic, you deserve to die. If you don't make a stance on the particular topic against the particular thing, you deserve to die. We're trying times, my guys and girls. Trying times. Truly. Truly trying times.
To engage in politics on her VTuber related account. This is completely unhinged, and we're going to talk about kind of the intent of posts like this. I think it's one thing if someone's joking about this, like who's in her community and clearly likes her, versus someone like this who's unhinged and clearly really doesn't like her and has been obsessing over her for quite some time at this point, at least weeks, maybe even months. And of course, the comments were shredding this individual at the time because, first of all, they're Canadian.
Marshall Beaumont. By the way, I really recommend this guy. He's really he's really interesting and really cool. Not gonna lie, I like his takes quite a lot. He's cool. By the way, that other name I cannot read out because you know why.
And as pointed out here, yeah, I don't think a country that relies entirely on the United States for its defense should be barking up that tree, son. Communist when someone doesn't feel obliged to be political online. F you in your struggle sessions. Leave country crying about the best country once again. Pay no attention here. And it goes on and on. You get it, right? People are not really
the poor Canadians, right? Right, the poor Canadians, right? There's some really cool Canadians, but like, damn, you've got some nutcases. Not that I'm the one to talk, right? We've got Niara, right? We've got him instead, right? We've got our insane German rep already, right? I hate this man, by the way. Just saying, I really dislike him. There's no worse person. There's no worse VTuber. I guess there might be some worse, but like, there's no worse one that's like that's actively seems to be growing in some way, shape, or form. Ugh.
Too impressed with this whole situation here, but the struggle session would continue with this clip from their recent stream.
Influencers deserve to and should speak on topics that affect them. Fence sitting is cringe and actually is harmful. Yeah, but they don't see it as that because, again, fence sitting is what gets these people money. If you fence sit, you will get money. Why would anyone want to hear the harsh reality of the world when you could plug up your ears like a coward? Which Tomoe is. Tomoe is a coward. Just want to make that abundantly clear.
It's like insane, right? A coward, right? This is a woman in active military service. She is serving in the military. And you calling her a coward, I find that very interesting, considering that this man, if you can call him that, actually, I don't know, what is this creature, is sitting behind a screen, tapping on a keyboard. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Wow. Ah, yes. Coward. The definition of cowardice, or being a coward. Being in the military. Very interesting. Mental illness beyond belief. Smile quietly. We're witnessing mental illness.
So you become a coward. You don't want to challenge any ideas. You don't want to stand up for anything. And you get people like you see in that reply section. And you see how she replies to other people. She's a clown.
Because she wants to be an entertainer. She wants to be an entertainer, nothing more. Right? She wants to entertain people. Which is very respectable. Actually, I respect her quite a lot. Because she's not engaging in this, like petty VTuber drama. Because that's what it is, right? It's petty VTuber drama. I only involve myself in drama when like the people that I like are involved, but like aside from that, I'm just like a spectator mostly of the time and comment on it, but like I'm not actively involved. But like she's trying to stay away from it, which is smart. It's just smart because then you don't alienate potential half of the audience. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. I don't get it.
She's a clown, and she's my personal jester at this point. She's getting dog-dicked by a Canadian that put her shit to light again, and everyone is rightfully criticizing her.
Nobody's criticizing her. You're the only nutcase that is criticizing anybody. They're in their own movie at this point. Like they're starring the main character syndrome. Oh, I'm the Tomoe destroyer. No, you're not. Your video did nothing. It probably got mass disliked. That's it. Because I wonder what the dislike ratio for that thing is. Obviously, I don't have the extension, but like, I'm curious. Absolute mental illness.
Someone said she doesn't deserve hate. She's not getting enough. Because I think that's a miserable person hiding behind her flag, and she's using it more as a shield than something to be actually patriotic about.
Ooh, shiver me timbers. This
Gotta love my... That's very interesting. That's interesting. He's just insane. That's just insane behavior. That's just like completely done, bro. Just finished. Bro's just cooked. This brain is fried. Here's the thing. She's doing what VTubers technically are supposed to do. She's playing a character, right? Of course, some IRL stuff, right? Her military job is obviously involved, but like at the end of the day, she's trying to be a VTuber, not a political figure. Which technically, logically, would be the smartest thing to do, but, you know, we don't live in utopia. She's doing everything right.
VTubers really taking off the gloves and, well, just showing how unhinged they are. They're basically saying that Tomoe should get more hates, which is a very nice thing of them to say, absolutely unhinged. And also they go through this whole struggle session, calling her a coward. dude, she's an active service member. You're calling that person a coward because they don't want to express political beliefs or be pressured into doing so?
Like, in comparison to her, I'm a coward. I've not been in the military, right? We have like again, conscription here, right? Right, for everyone, like at like since like the year who was born in the year 2008, right? From now on, right? So like, yeah. So everyone born in 2009 gets to be in the military, right? At least for now, it's like on like if you want to do it, but if they don't get the numbers, then you have to do it, right? For now, it's just men, right? Maybe they'll change it, probably not, because like you have to change like core laws, right? But like, it's interesting, right? I never got that, right? Because they like removed it for the time being, right? But like, still, in comparison to her, I'm a coward.
On their VTuber related account, you think this is like gonna save lives or something? It's the most ridiculous virtue signaling, and we all know with these individuals, when they want you to speak up about a topic, you know what they mean. Either you agree with what I believe in my entire agenda, or say something different, I'm going to harass you. It's clear as day, and this person believes she deserves more harassment, so yeah, like that's not too much of a big extension here. But Tomoe would make a sort of...
He's basically advocating for harassment, right? He's basically saying this person deserves harassment. She deserves to be attacked. She deserves hate. Mental illness.
follow up to everything saying, this is the last time I'll hopefully ever have to speak on it, but please stop saying this person needs to say something. Nobody owes you anything, regardless of what you may believe. Let content creators make the content they want to make in peace. I think it's that simple. If you want to twist this message into me being the bad guy that deserves to die because I know some of you will, or whatever, then sure, go ahead. I'll continue offering a chill space for my community where they can take a break from all of the hecticness in the world, which I think is a very fair take, but of course, someone disagreed. Return of the Antagonist here, making a YouTube video with the caption, "Silence is compliance." Wow, like I said, guys, we're back in 2020. Like, I am feeling the shift.
Yep. Silence is... they are saying, basically, because that right, again, it came out of his own account, right? He typed it with his own hands. If you're not saying anything, you are complying, and if you're complying, you deserve to die, even if you never said anything. Remember that?
People are starting up these cancellation campaigns. They're forcing you to speak on the current thing, and if you don't, or you give the wrong answer, they're going to harass you endlessly and try to cancel you in every way possible. And you can see the caption here, a performative patriot, coming from this person who clearly is not serving in any sort of a way. Like, it seems a bit odd to call someone a performative patriot.
How can you be a performative patriot? How? Like, how can you be a performative patriot but then be in the military? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Huh?
Are you implying that they're not a patriot? It just doesn't make any sense. But let's hear what this person has to say in their latest struggle session.
Accountability and responsibility does not exist in current day content creation. Instead, nowadays we have content creators doing anything and everything to make sure they get as much money as possible from every single viewer. Tomoe Mari is not an exception.
Can I say this? I will say it. I've noticed this from male VTubers. Right? I've noticed this. There's a lot of virtue signalers in there, right? The last one was the guy who essentially shit on men, right? That guy. Now we have this guy. There's a lot of other dudes. It's like really interesting. And also something I've noticed. So it's either, right, femboy or hunk. There's no in between. I feel like I'm in between. It's interesting. Just saying that. Just something I've noticed more recently. But also, like, again, I'm not surprised. If anything, this guy's a performative man.
To any of this. A perpetual victim and coward who constantly hides behind her flag and her country to avoid any responsibility for anything she says or does. Despite LARPing as a military patriot who's adamant about being apolitical, she's most notable for her takes such as,
"They're trying to hide the truth from us, but we know the truth, and we will fight for this truth until the bitter end." So yes, horses for everybody. Canada will be deleted promptly. That goes without saying. We need to make sure that happens fast. We need to strike.
But that's normal. I don't see the problem. Others have made that same joke, for example, for the British. Or for France. What are you on? Even Israel. What are you on about? Oh, okay, maybe she meant it, but like, who cares? Other people make that exact same joke for France. God. Goodness gracious.
Them when they least expect it. We need to basically sucker punch them and drain them of their resources and then cut them off completely.
Now, it may come as a shock to you, but this video is not being well received with about a 75%.
I did my part. I did my part. One of these dislikes is mine. I did my part. And you should too, right? Because, like, you know, of course, he advocated for harassment. Now, I could be the moral person, say, right? Don't harass him. I'm not going to tell you to harass him. Right? I'm not telling you to do so. Obviously, I would never do that. Right? That'd be bad. But, like, I also cannot stop you.
Dislike ratio. It's very interesting to see this person's intro here where they're talking about someone doing anything and everything to try to get more money or more engagement. Like this is the definition of doing that. Picking fights with larger content creators to hope to get some traction. Well, it's not working. Like, I hope you enjoy the, like, 3 people seal clapping your performative nonsense in the comments. That's not going to help you do anything.
64 people, right? Because they liked it. 64 people. 64 people. That's all.
Okay, this is a weird fight to start. It seems hyper focused on this individual for some reason. I don't know what this person did to upset this person so much. But yeah, they're going through and showing examples.
I think the reason for this reaction, in my opinion, is probably because, like, right, she's, like, openly patriotic, right? And, like, it's part of her content, right? And, like, she's in the military, and, like, this person cannot take this, right? He gets Tomoe derangement syndrome, and, like, I think that's probably the reason why that is why he reacts the way he does. Right. I think he would also react the same way to, like, Celeste or, like, other people who are patriotic about the US. I feel like that's my opinion, rather. I don't know. At least from what it feels like, right? There's, like, a lot of people, like, if there was a police, like, a proper, like, police officer VTuber, right? I think that the same thing would probably happen to that person as well, right? I mean, like, somebody who's actually LARPing as a police officer, right? On stream, right? At least that's what I'm seeing. Who's, like, in character.
Examples of this hateful behavior. It's very obvious jokes about Canada. Like, what do you mean? Are we going to be serious for just a second? And they're going to now turn around and try to compare her reaction to people making the glue factory jokes in her own community versus him doing it. Yeah, there's a difference, but let him try to explain this one.
Yet when a Canadian VTuber decides to make a joke about a fictional horse girl turning into glue, that's a step too far. Even going so far as going on her Twitter to declare that it was death threats made against her. Yet when she rightfully pisses people off, this is what she has to say.
Maybe I'm just insensitive. Maybe my sense of humor doesn't jive with a lot of people. That's probably not it. I think I just keep attracting some really dainty fellas that do not take jokes very well. Maybe I need to, like, put, like, a disclaimer in all of my shorts that says, like, hey, this is a fucking joke, stop getting upset, please. I don't understand the point of getting mad at a VTuber joke, of all things.
Responses to my tweet. Well, not my problem. Then again, here's the thing though. When her community does it, it's an inside joke. When you do it, it's a threat of violence. That's especially with like the context of the tweet, right? The context matters. The context matters. And you call it an industry plant, which is even more interesting because, like, what does that mean? Is like that doesn't make sense.
You know, like that's like such a weird battle. Horse girl getting sent to the glue factory. The f you mean? What did I do? What did I do?
You're more than willing to giggle like an idiot at the same joke I made. The only difference is that it was made by one of your chatters. It's incredibly hypocritical and pathetic to be offended at the same
Not really, because the meaning is different. When a chatter makes it, it's very obvious, right? If a community member makes it, it's very obvious that it's a joke, and right, it's like it's part of the community, right? It's a community joke, right? It's an inside joke. When you do it, you mean as it as a threat of violence. That's the difference. That's the difference, right? The intent is different. But then again, I don't think he gets it because he's too politically brain rotted. That's just the truth.
shit that you do constantly. I'm sorry you're so dainty. The funniest thing is that this spawned simply because of a JJK meme, and I thought it was perfectly applicable to her. It took me a grand total of 5 minutes to make this. Here's another one that took me 5 minutes to make. This summarizes the average Tomoe fan.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Everyone I don't agree with is a Nazi. They do not know. Like, every time I see this, my response is now, you call this person Nazi. Give me proof that, of course, they're not going to provide it. Like, give me proof that they believe in Germans, right? Nazi's not just like, I'm a white supremacist, or like, I'm in the military, or like, I'm a like, they're fascist, right? Nazi is specifically, I believe, German people who are ethnically German, right? That includes like Denmark, supposedly some of the northern countries, the Netherlands, some parts of like France, right? Show me where they advocate for the superiority of ethnic Germans. If they don't say that, then they cannot be a Nazi. It doesn't make sense. Even further, if somebody isn't German ethnically, they cannot be a Nazi. It's that simple. If somebody is pro-America, they cannot be a Nazi. It doesn't make... This words have meaning. This word has a meaning. This word has a meaning. Then again, this guy is just as radical as one, so there's that.
Guys, when they made that post, what they said or the message that was trying to be conveyed, it didn't matter because they made it in under 5 minutes. Yeah, that's how this works. If it doesn't take you very long to do something or say something, it's not that serious, bro. Here's the difference. When her community is making these jokes, it's clearly in jest. They don't actually hate her or wish any harm. This person, on the other hand, this person does not like her and is very hostile and aggressive towards her and is implying many awful things, claiming she's like some horrible, awful person and her community is filled with all of these terrible, awful, despicable human beings. So when you're doing these quote-unquote jokes, it's not landing the same, and no, she should not receive it the same way. I also find this whole situation very weird, where this person's like, you need to say something. You're coming across a woman who's saying she's uncomfortable.
You don't have to say anything. If you come across this video, you're a VTuber, you don't have to say anything. Whether you agree with leftists, whether you agree with right-wing people, you do not have to say anything. And the people who put you into a category already, they hate you regardless. It doesn't matter. They will put you in the category regardless, whether you make your beliefs public or not. Of course, if you're a leftist, he's probably gonna clap like a seal, but like, still. If you are somebody who falls in the category of wrong thing, quote unquote, you don't have to say anything. Just do your thing, be an entertainer, do what you like.
comfortable and doesn't want to do something, and you're telling her, no, you have to do it, or I'm going to insult you and berate you and slander you. Very weird stuff, but here's kind of the end of the video. It's not very long in total here, but this is the closing statement from this individual.
You can't even muster up the courage to say that you don't want your country to murder its civilians. It's not a political take to have empathy for your countrymen. You use your platform to be an ignorant airhead, and you are arrogant in that nothing you say will matter for you. You don't use your community or platform to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, or provide for the common defense. The oath you promise to uphold.
Because she doesn't have to. This is separate. This is separate. Chances are, here's a fun fact, chances are that if you bring political issues to your boss, he's going to either laugh at you or he's going to fire you because you disrupt the workplace. Fun fact, because that can absolutely 100% happen. This is two separate identities. It's that simple. I bet this guy would probably complain that Clara from Face Connect got essentially kicked out, right? She graduated. I wonder if he would complain about that just because, like, we know her beliefs, right? Interesting.
When you started to serve your country has now become obsolete in the grand scheme of things. You watch as your government continues to beat down and kill your civilians, and still you say nothing, and still you... Two. One was one civilian was incredibly stupid. The other one was also incredibly stupid. So I think they definitely overdid that. But regardless, illegals are not citizens. Funny, huh? That's why they're illegal. You do nothing. If you wish to be an actual patriot, you would stand with your countrymen.
People got to use their platforms to ensure justice and domestic tranquility. Amazing stuff. Countless lives were just saved in this moment. You know, I think it's
That's the thing, though. They believe that they're actually doing something. It's like, remember the TikTok trends and, like, overall trend where people would turn their profile pictures purple to, like, stand with women? Ah, yes. Mary, who just got beaten by her husband, definitely appreciates your support by changing your profile picture to a purple one. You get the idea. You get the idea. It's just funny. It's like I said, leftists and their inaction is very funny.
A bit crazy of a concept, but some people like to watch VTubers to escape all these things that are thrown in their face all day long. And some people just want to enjoy a VTuber without having to see that VTuber be forced or have their arm twisted into making statements, because people like this feel so entitled to these statements. They are demanding people like this speak on whatever they want. And again, when they speak, it's not just, oh, they're going to speak their opinion and it'll be respected. No, it's like you have to agree and align with everything the demanders want. Otherwise, they're going to harass you even further. It's really just kind of a trap at that point. But yeah, nobody was buying any of this. You can see some of the quotes saying this was the rat I've been alluding to this whole time. Used to follow him till he turned out to be such a hateful person that hates anyone that doesn't 100% line with his ideology. Imagine being such a miserable loser that you make it your mission to force an active serving member of the military to make a public political statement to fit your personal moral agenda. And also, by the way, there are a lot of restrictions in your oath as a active.
Yeah, I was like thinking about that already. I was like, she probably can't even say that. She'd probably get, like, even if she was against what ICE was doing, basically, right? Is doing. She couldn't even say it, probably. Because she's in the military, right? She'd get in trouble. Then again, these are the same people that will harass an artist for not drawing gay ships. And not even thinking, if this person draws this gay ship now, will they get in legal trouble in the country they're in? Right? These people don't think that. They're rather like, draw the art bigot or draw the art bigot, even if you put your own life in jeopardy. Because, remember, some Muslim countries do not allow this. Fun fact.
military member that restricts what you can say on social media when it comes to politics. Why would someone who already doesn't want to make their streams political bend the knee to people like this and threaten the possibility of punishment on themselves for doing so? Crazy stuff. Absolutely entitled. And also keep in mind, in the post sharing this video, they locked the replies, and the only reply on there is themselves sharing this meme that they also shared in the video as well. Completely ridiculous. They know exactly what they're doing here.
By the way, we have the KKK, we have Nazis, we have MAGA, and whatever the cat things are. I don't know. It's just interesting.
But the comments are savage. Okay, dang dude, just condemned his fate at becoming a successful VTuber. You are so desperate for views that you lied and took a joke videos out of context to slander Tomoe. I genuinely think you deserve nothing but suffering and harassing and the threats to Tomoe because she isn't willing to break the oath she swore to uphold whatever on active service. Cost you nothing to hate on another VTuber, and yet you still want to instigate stuff. Love how you blocked comments on the thread and dismissed quote retweets, all to slam one of the least problematic VTubers rather than some truly controversial ones. Such brave, much stunning. Wow. Very expository. Bro, this is one of the biggest nothing burgers. Why do you even gotta drag this drama on even longer? And that's the crazy thing. Like, why are you even dragging this on? And there was one quote I saw that I think is important. This person who has me blocked, and I would imagine doesn't agree with me on many things, but I can agree with their statement here and respect where they're coming from. They say, my country, Minneapolis, is not your personal Hogwarts legacy. We don't want coerced solidarity. And you can't use your straw man on me. I'm not a Tomoe fan. I'm trans. I'm unabashedly anti-ICE. And I've been protesting in Minneapolis at the Whipple building. Please, STFU. They won't. And obviously all this stems from the recent stuff involving ICE, which, I've seen my own insanity involving that. If you dare to go against any sort of a narrative, or you, in this case, don't want to speak in any sort of volume, you still get harassed. This whole thing is completely ridiculous. Sorry this...
See, even the people that are against ICE agree. Funny.
Individual has to go through this for simply wanting to entertain people and not drag in politics, and also to do their duty to their country without risking it to appease to weirdos on social media. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. There's not much to say. I think I said enough. I don't think you have to say anything. I don't think you have to say anything. Even if they try to push you to say something. Even if they try even further, you don't even have to say anything about any topic. Just do your stuff. Do what you want to do. If you want to say something, go ahead, do it. Right? Nobody's stopping you. If you don't want to say something, don't let yourself get pressured into doing so. Because these mentally ill people already made up their mind. Even if she now said something, he still would hate her. It doesn't matter. These people have made their mind up already. They've made their mind up before you said anything. It is that. It's really simple. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.